After enduring 5 years in prison, Nolan's only way to keep his life and freedom is to reveal information on his boss, which could get him killed. Will Nolan be able to find his family and escape this horrific situation, or is he a dead man walking? Joining us today is director Cody Stokes of the film The Ghost Who Walks. It will be shown at the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase, where you can see what happens to Nolan. Very exciting plot. Cody, thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So what inspired this film, the idea? How did it come to be?
Yeah, well, so the idea came from, I was living in New York at the time, and my daughter, I have 2 children now, but my daughter, who's our oldest, she was born there, and I was making my living as a commercial director, which is what I do to still make my living, and that takes me on the road a lot. And so I started thinking a lot about what it means to be away, what I was missing, and I knew that I wanted to, just for myself, talk about that in a film, and but I knew that I wanted it to be entertaining and I wanted it to be exciting. So I took some ideas that I wanted to talk about, and I decided, all right, I'm going to wrap this up in a crime drama film that is something I would have watched as a younger person. A lot of people I grew up with would watch too, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just some exclusive art house film, that it was something that everyone could enjoy but take something away from it in the end. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's exciting because you mentioned you did this in New York, but you're a St. Louis native.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you left, pursued your career, you started to direct, and then now you're actually writing and creating film. How did you go from your living to your passion and be able to make that transition, starting from St. Louis?
Well, it started as a passion. I was making films. I mean, I made my first film when I was 16.
Yeah.
And no one was paying me to do that, and no one was very concerned whether I did it or not. It was just on me, and so. You know,
so how did you find your way? I mean, you know, the path wasn't there. Your friends and people didn't really.
Yeah, you just keep walking. I mean, I had a lot of support. You know, I was a construction worker. I was bartending, and I was paying for my own shorts. I'd max out my credit cards, pay them off, and keep showing films. I was able to sell a couple of my shorts internationally, and that got me the money to finally move to New York. Wow. And so my wife and I moved up there and started working up there. And that's really where kind of I realized, oh, I have to make money to live here. So I've been doing a lot of independent films in various roles, cinematographer, editor, co-writer. But as a director, I was just making short films. And when we decided to have a child, I was like, oh, I need to pay real money. I can't count change anymore. So that's how I started to get into commercials. And at first I had a need, but a reluctance. You know, I didn't envision myself as a commercial director, but then I realized, you know, film out of all the other art forms is one of the most challenging art forms to practice at, especially as a director. It takes so long to bring a project to its feet, to get the financing, to bring it together. It's very cost prohibitive. Sure. But commercial was a chance for me to practice on a more regular basis,
and a more realistic basis with having a family. You know, being able to do both. So it was film that brought you back home.
It was family that brought me back home. Yeah, I got to a point as a commercial director where I didn't actually have to live in one place or the other, and technology helped that a lot. I mean, the world has changed a lot since I first moved to New York a decade ago, but. Moving back here was a choice for family. We wanted to have some more support for our personal family, and then be around the family we grew up with.
And you didn't have to give up your passion.
I did not, no.
And with the St. Louis Film Festival Filmmakers Showcase, you get to share it with those here back home, and I think that's tremendously exciting. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit more about that and the film. And after this break, you'll hear from 2 more directors responsible for creating a documentary film that will also be shown in the Filmmakers Showcase. So stay with us. I did not.